I'm Bob Hallmark in Longview today. I'm at the Longview Arboretum. Let's talk about winter and the weather now. Now, it is not a surprise for us to get cold snaps and hard freezes during East Texas winters. What is a surprise sometimes is when we get 65, 70-degree weather in January and February. Now, what does that do to plants when you have unusually warm temperatures like we have right now? To answer that question, we're joined now by Master Gardener Tom Babin. Tom, tell me a little bit about this. It's not unusual for us to have temperatures like this, but is there a downside to something like this?
There really is a downside to it because the plants get this false sense of what time of year it is, what they're supposed to be doing. They start budding out ahead of time, and hopefully we don't get another one of these freezes, because if they do bud out enough ahead of time, the big freeze comes later, burns off all the new buds, so then we got to start all over and we get late blooms for springtime flowers and late blooms on bulbs and that sort of thing.
Okay. Now, the old timers, I guess, call this a false bloom.
False bloom.
And although it can be welcome sometimes because you might get an early harvest if the weather holds.
Right.
The danger here is that it usually never holds.
That's been my experience in East Texas, and we've all been through it, and we know we get this. And right now we're cutting back damage from the last freeze, and we're seeing new growth already popping up where we're cutting back. So if we get this another freeze, we're really going to have, the plants are really going to suffer, and that's what's going to happen.
Right, and that's the problem that we're talking about here, is because it's not unusual for when we have a hard freeze, snow, ice, frigid temperatures for a week or whatever. It can stunt plants. It can kill some plants. For fruit growers, this could be really nasty.
For fruit growers, it could ruin their livelihood if that's what they're doing it for, or even for the person looking to have a couple of bushels of peaches or plums to can for themselves. It's just going to ruin them. They won't come back because they won't have the time to come back and do a full bloom. The buds come out, the flowers come out, the fruit comes out. It just won't be time for them to do it, and the plant will be so mixed up, it won't.
There we go. And you being a master gardener, you probably know this as well as anybody. Do most plants have an internal timer when seasonally they come around and they feel the temperature change, or they feel something barometrically change? Is that part of the problem here, is that they think it's time?
I think to a degree they do, because of the warmness. Now, I also believe that plants kind of know what time of year it is and what they're supposed to be doing in that time of year, but it's just like anybody. If somebody throws a facade up there in front of you and you think you see something or you think you feel something, then you're going to react to it. And that's pretty much, they're just reacting now to what's there, to the weather as it is now.
Okay, what's our best hope for this? I mean, it's probably a sure bet we're going to have another cold snap, maybe another freeze somewhere. What's the best hope out of all of this right now?
The best hope out of this right now is, if another one does come, it'll give us that little misting of ice or something to coat the plants and help to protect them somewhat. It will protect some of those new budding and stuff if we get that light misting on them, and it kind of insulates them. And we saw some of that with this last freeze. We didn't get near the damage we thought we had because of that light misting. So the damage from this big last freeze a couple of weeks ago was negligible compared to what we would have expected. And I attribute that to the misting and the light coat of ice that formed on everything.
Okay. Last thing. Now, let's say that through some odd chance that the weather holds and we go from right where we are right now all the way to spring, and we don't have another cold snap or freeze.
We're going to have some really early blooming plants and flowers, and it's just going to be beautiful early, and we'll be able to enjoy the beauty that much longer. So I say stay warm and let it bloom.
Okay, Tom, thanks.
All righty.
All right, and we'll have much more on this story tonight on KLTV 7 News. For KLTV Web Extra, I'm Bob Hallmark.